So it looks actually quite a bit better now, but this was a lot of work. Rust is not fun to fix. It's pretty messy and, well, very time consuming, but it's definitely rewarding once it's done. Now this 2002, at least in my opinion, was actually quite a solid car. It had a crack-free dash, the windshield was original and in good shape. It was obviously a well-kept car, but it had a serious amount of rust in this corner on both sides. Now this is mainly due to the fact of these little guys. So these drain water from the sunroof directly into the fender and into this area. Now E9s are actually worse. They will literally drain inside of the rocker. So these at least go kind of sandwiched in between the fender, but it just holds the moisture and rots this area out. So, well, let's dig in. Rust doesn't exactly unbolt, but everything else does. And well, you pretty much have to take everything else off. Starting with the dash. And well, to take the dash out, I'll need to remove the windshield. The seal was dry and the chrome locking strip isn't exactly chrome anymore. First, I pull out the locking strip, then it's time to cut around the windshield and pull this inner rubber off. Then technically, it should pop out. The seats need to be removed to access the carpet. The carpet and sound deadening needs to be removed to access the rust. Oh boy. This carpet is filthy. Can't wait to see it pressure washed. Now that the windshield is out, there is two little screws that I can access to remove the dash. The pedal box is removed as well, and I'll be rebuilding it in another video. Alright, so the pedal box is removed. The floor from the underside actually looks really good. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like when I clean this up, but I have high hopes. This corner, however, will have a bit of rust. This car is just getting more and more apart. Doors and fenders need to go off as well. There, just over 5.5 minutes in and I can finally see the rust and start cutting. I probably should have titled this 2002 Disassembling. Blech. Time to drill out the spot welds. How exciting. Well, I was hoping to just cut off part of the rocker, do a little repair, but this inner panel is kind of rotten. And you can see some light poking through there. So that needs to be fixed. That is your basically inner rocker. First patch down. I'm actually pretty happy with it. It's funny, it looks like an odd piece, but like it has to fit into where I cut it, of course. Should work. You can see this is the patch I just made. This goes in like this. And there's some leftover from this piece, the A-pillar. But you can tell here, just on this edge, there's like a little, almost, I don't know, rust spot, whatever, but that's actually where it goes up and meets with this piece. So this goes here, this goes here, and then you can tell it's a nice straight piece of that. So I cut a piece out of cardboard. See what exactly we're dealing with here. This should go something like that, yeah. That's kind of what it's gonna be. So here is where I'm at so far. I got this panel made, fits nice. You'll notice there's a little step here. That's just to make the weld at the bottom, and then I can grind it smooth. Then we got this piece, which is basically the bottom of the A-pillar panel. Ooh. And then the rocker panel goes on top. Inner rocker welded up and in. So this piece here, for me at least, is the trickiest bit. There's kind of three pieces here. This piece is easy. I have that made. This piece is taking me a while right now. Should be basically, yeah, it's kind of hard since I don't actually have much of it left, but it's totally gone. I'm happy with that. Should be good. Like this. A few tacks and linishing off, we have a front corner again, people. You can actually tell, here's the end of it. Smooth cut, and then there's a little divot here. So a lot of time later, I've created this piece, which is the front of the rocker. I was able to save this off the original one and weld it on. And this is actually two pieces, so I bent this and then welded this. See how it fits. So basically just a few tacks around the whole edge. These are for spot welds, of course. Yeah. It's coming together. So the corner is basically done. Kind of exciting. Just threw some seam sealer on the edges. Here I tried some undercoating stuff that didn't really work, but quite happy with the result. Have to laugh almost because like this is what I cut out of it. Jeez. So definitely an improvement There's no body filler or anything. You can see there's a slight low spot there, but I'm quite happy with it. This ended up really straight on the top. Yeah, it's nice. Now to just rinse and repeat for the other side. After sandblasting, you can barely tell there's a patch. Nice. Like all pieces on this car, this has taken me quite a while. This section here is actually out of the original piece. The rest was rotten. This is kind of what it looked like. Yeah, and this is out of my 2002 trunk lid, like most of the other pieces. So, obviously this is repaired already. There's a big hole here. Now it's time to put this guy on. Now, I still have to bend the bottom. Don't mind the gloves, that was from grinding. But it is fitting fairly nice. So I tried to do this little notch on all edges, makes it easier to weld up, so you won't burn a bigger hole in it. After grinding and sanding, it almost looks factory. I'm rather pleased. Floor corners and interior floor panels get pore 15 and seam sealer. I'll be putting on some sound deadening and it should be like new again. And there we have it. Rust work is done. Should be good for another 45 years. So before I start putting this thing together, I'm definitely going to squirt rust fighter into like that hole there, and then there's a few holes on the inside, and then this hole for sure. Stuff like that, just try and get as much of the stuff as I can in between. It's all nice clean metal now, so don't want that to start rusting. Pretty happy with the repair so far though, because it's all metal, which is sweet. There's no Bondo or anything, just some undercoating primer and PR15. Should last. Thanks for watching. In the next episode, I should be doing a little bit of reassembling.